Well, we finally got akimbo SMGs in Payday 2, so I figured it's about time to make a proper Mark build. So here we are. Mark is a character from Hotline Miami 2 that this build is based off, who specializes in dual-wielding submachine guns. So getting onto the build, in Mastermind we have Endurance Aced. In Enforcer we have Iron Man, fully loaded, and with Specialist, Shotgun CQB, Stun Resistant, Shotgun Impact, Die Hard, Underdog, Pumping Iron, and Transporter. So this is a pretty basic Enforcer skill tree, I would like to think, and you can already tell that really what we're going to be focusing on is armor, shotgun skills, and melee as well. Skills I would have liked to pick up were Berserker, but I really had no skill points left over after making this, and a lot of the skills that are put into this build are pretty essential, and it's kind of hard to replace things. So other things I would like to get was Overkill, because we are running a shotgun secondary, but like I said, we're just gonna have to make some compromises. So that's the Enforcer skill tree. Nothing in Technician. In Ghost we have Shinobi, Fast Hands Sprinter, with Cleaner and SMG Specialist. You don't have to get Cleaner, to each his own. You can pick up Capper if you would like, or any other skills that you would like to get in here, but I recommend getting Cleaner just because it's nice to deal the extra damage to specials with our weapons. And SMG Specialist is essential for this build, I think, because it turns those Heather Akimbos into absolute monsters and just melts everything. And definitely the reload speed is, if you're not going to get the rate of fire, I can understand that, but at least get the reload speed. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Moving on to Fugitive, probably the most important skill tree in this build. Starting from the top, we have Akimbo aced out, obviously, Counter-Strike aced. Is that it? Counter-Strike? Yep, I never used that skill, so I didn't know what it was called. Swan Song, Brother's Keeper, Run and Gun, Hidden Blade, Duck and Cover, and Daredevil. So, the Fugitive skill tree is probably the most important skill tree in this build, because this whole build is focused around Akimbo, and this is where Akimbo is. And I'll remake the skill tree for you here so I can justify my use of getting Counter-Strike. So, I usually always go with these three when I first start a Fugitive build, and I'll work my way up. The reason I got Brother's Keeper, I usually don't get that skill, but because we're doing a Hotline Miami themed build today, obviously Brother's Keeper is a must. And Swan Song is really good because I like Swan Song a lot with the, what are they called? The Heather submachine guns. I like using those with Swan Song. Even though you aren't going to go down often, when you do, you're going to be able to deal a lot of damage and clear out entire rooms with that 6 seconds of not having to reload those Heathers and just destroying everything. So, obviously, we don't need Trigger Happy and we don't need Low Blow. So, what I could do is that we need 6 skilled points to get up to the next thing. And with the previous version of this build is that I got Counter-Strike Basic, and then Thick Skin Basic and Sixth Sense Basic, just to take up 2 skill points so we could get into Bullseye, because this is a build based off armor regen. But after testing it, I really didn't think Bullseye was worth it that much, unless you're playing Death Wish, but also I really don't recommend this build for Death Wish because it's more of a role-playing build, just to have some fun and pretend that you're in the Hotline Miami universe in Payday 2. But you can pick up Bullseye if you want this build to be a little bit more efficient, but I just had a lot of fun using Counter-Strike Ace, and yeah, I think it's a lot more useful once you actually have it, and maybe after you try this skill out, you'll bring it on a lot more of your Fugitive build. So I decided instead of getting those 2 and then Bullseye, I would just ace out Counter-Strike and then ace out Akimbo. So yeah, Counter-Strike, I really haven't used it that much before, and lately I have been using it, and it is nice. I just wish it dealt damage instead of just knockback, because once you knock the cloakers down, you're gonna have to take care of them pretty quick before they get back up and try to, you know, get you down. But Counter-Strike is a really good skill, and I have been enjoying it a lot more. So those are the skills, and now we can move on to the weapons. That's not the weapon I want to use. The weapon that we're going to be going with is these Heathers. Okay, so taking a look at the modifications, we have the Fire Breath Nozzle, the Stability Boost. You can really put on whatever boost you want, and I thought they benefited most from the Stability Boost. We have an Auto Fire on No Gadget and the Unfolded Stock. So pretty much the point of these are to deal high damage, have low recoil, and high accuracy, and I think it does a pretty good job of it. You can get some pretty crazy long distance kills with these as long as you just tap that mouse and don't really spray when you're trying to take out snipers with them, and you should be fine. So I really like these Heathers, and for a loud build, this is my favorite way to modify them. Moving on to the secondary, we have the GSPS shotgun. Really, it doesn't matter the shotgun you use. I just like the GSPS because it's new and it has a nice beefy sound to it. And yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite shotgun secondaries. And one modification we have is the Shark Teeth Nozzle. just for increased damage, and that's pretty much it. You really don't need to put anything else on it. And I have a team boost on this because I don't think it benefits that much from any of these other boosts. So those are the weapons that we're going to be bringing, and also our melee weapon. I always like to go with this baseball bat with the barbed wire on it. I don't know, it's just my favorite. I mean, you can go with a katana, but just for the Hotline Miami theme, I like to bring this badass. Now for the equipment, obviously we're going to bring an ammo bag because that's what we have skills for. This is one of those builds where it doesn't rely heavily on your equipment, so really you can bring a, doctor bag if there's too much ammo in the lobby. It really doesn't matter what your equipment is, but I just recommend to have doctor bag because we do have, or I meant to say I recommend the ammo bag because we do have that scale basic, so we can bring 2 of them instead of 1. And for the armor, we're going with the improved Combine Tactical Vest, highest armor in the game. We don't get many benefits from this. We don't get more health, we don't get more armor, but we do have a pretty good armor recovery because we are using the Sociopath perk deck. I just like the Sociopath perk deck, and obviously we're doing a Hotline Miami themed build today, so I like to go with the Sociopath perk deck. I'm sure I could have made this build based around Grinder or like ex-presidents or something with health regen, but I'm just really sick of those perk decks, and they're just getting kind of annoying, the health regen ones, because it's like it's such the meta right now, and I just want something new. And I think I've been using this build a lot lately, and it's been mixing it up. And yeah, obviously it is difficult to play without health regain after you've been playing with it for so long, but just try something else. Try something that used to be the meta, like something like I know Muscle has health regen too, but something like Rogue or like Armored or something. Just go do something and use something that's not health regen, and maybe you'll like it, and it's just a good change of pace. So I recommend you guys try this build out and use the Sociopath perk deck. This is definitely in like my top 3 favorite perk decks, so I love this one. Anytime I get an opportunity to make a build with the Sociopath perk deck, I take it, and I just really like using this perk deck a lot. Definitely one of my favorites. And it does have a little bit of health regen. It's just a little bit tedious having to kill an enemy. As long as there's any weak cops around or anything like that, it's not that big of a deal just having to kill them. And 10% is quite a lot. You regain 10% of your health for killing one enemy, and I think that is pretty good for health regen in a Sociopath perk deck. So we do have health regen, I guess, kind of, but that's not what this main build and perk deck is focused on. So really nothing else to show. Those are the skills, the perk deck, the weapons that we're going to be going with. So I guess now we can hop into a heist and show you guys some gameplay and talk more about this build. So yeah, let's do that. So here we are in game. Of course, I thought Hotline Miami would be a fitting themed heist for this build today. And as you can see, I'm using the GSPS right here just in the beginning, but I will switch over to the heathers right now and showcase those off. So this build, the Mark build, is actually going to be probably the last build I make with the current skill trees, because if you guys didn't know, there's an update coming within the next 4 or 5 weeks that is going to completely change the way we make builds and the way the skill trees work. So if you guys were unaware of this and you guys want to check that out, you can go to Overkill's website or just their Steam page. They've been doing announcements every Friday where they have a presentation showing off a new skill tree. So far we have seen the reworks of Mastermind and Enforcer, and we have Technician coming soon. So yeah, they're giving us presentations every Friday on what the new skill trees are going to look like. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and I don't see myself making another build until then. So yeah, this will probably be the last build with the current skill trees. And it kind of is going to kill all the other build videos because we're never going to be able to make builds like we used to. Unless there's a mod or something that gives us the old skill trees back. But I am excited to pretty much have to redo all of my builds to accommodate the new update that we're getting. But that's enough of that. I'm sure I'll have another video talking about the new skill trees. For now, let's just focus on this. And I definitely recommend you guys go and try this build out because it won't be possible for very much longer. I'm sure it will still be possible, just in a different way. And look at these heathers right here, man. They're just absolute monsters. Like I can just take out an entire group of people right here. Even with shock or SMG specialist, the reload still is a little slow for my taste, but I mean it's still not a big deal. And as you can see right here, we can see some Counter-Strike in effect, and I really love that skill, man. I just started using it recently, and it really is so handy. Like anytime you see a cloaker, all you have to do is start charging up your melee, and they will come to you, and then you can just knock them on their ass. And yeah, it's a pretty fun skill to use as well. And I'm sure there's people going to be in the comments talking about the viability of this build. It's not supposed to be the most viable, it's just kind of a roleplay build. If you guys don't know what role-playing builds are, it's a term I like to use on builds where you're trying to replicate a certain character. Like there's builds like muscle builds and dodge builds and grinder builds that are supposed to be viable builds that make the game easier and competitive, really. Competitive builds, I guess. And role-playing builds are just builds that you can use to just make yourself feel like you're playing as a character in Payday 2 and just to have a little bit more fun, like the Solid Snake build, the Jacket build, and now the Mark build. So yeah, that's just the difference between the competitive builds and these kind of more goofy builds. And another thing, tasers with these heathers are just terrible, man. Anytime you get tased, it's going to pretty much just drain all your ammo, and it's really hard to hit the tasers as well. So as long as you have the heathers out, just watch out for tasers, because they can completely screw you over. But this was a really fun build to make, and I've been having a lot of fun using it. It's always good whenever you're using Sociopath, one of my favorite perk decks. So not much else to talk about this build. Really what you're going to rely on is getting health back with melee and having your armor recover. And if your armor breaks, man, you really need to get to cover or watch out for snipers, because you will go down pretty damn quick once your armor breaks. Because you got to remember, this isn't like grinder where you have a lot of health, or like muscle where you have a lot of health, or dodge where you're just dodging bullets. This is kind of the old school way of playing. If your armor breaks, you're going to be fucked. So just make sure that you're in a safe spot when your armor breaks, or just melee some enemies and get some of that health back. So that's pretty much just the build, and I'll leave you guys for the rest of this gameplay. All that's really left is us just gathering together and getting to the escape car. So thank you guys for watching this video. I'm excited to make new builds once the new skill trees come out and all that stuff. I might do a farewell skill tree build or something like that, or maybe just a video on it. Let me know what you guys want to see. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. Definitely go try out the Mark build, and yeah, thanks for watching.
Listen, much more hard-headed opponents on the way. Right, I got the address where the commissar's at.